Hello YouTube! My name is Annalisa and today I'm going to talk to you about a few things that you can expect and some of the things that I went through in my process of MEPS. I went up to Dallas MEPS to take my ASVAB test, and in the recruit office I did my pre-ASVAB and I spoke to recruiters, and I think 3 days prior from taking the ASVAB in MEPS, I did the pre-ASVAB, and I took it a few months before and my score went up a few points, and then I went to Dallas, and we got there about 12:30, 1 o'clock. You go in, they go through security, ask for your ID, everything like that. You go to the floor that you're supposed to go to, and then there's like lockers on the side where you're supposed to put your personal belongings. This is what we had there. We had like rows of chairs, and once you get there, you want to sit in the very first row. If there's an open seat, you sit there. In the second or third row, I would suggest that you sit there. Like if you're a shy, antisocial type person, do not go sit in the back, because you are going to be the last person to leave in that day. Just go sit in the front row, because those are the rows that they're going to call first. And so I waited from 1 o'clock until 4:30. And it was just waiting. That's what took the majority of my day. And then they finally called my row, and you wait in line, and then they ask you for your fingerprints. They take a picture of you, ask for your personal information, your social security number, and then they tell you to go down a hallway, take a left, blah blah blah. You go into the room, there's a lady, and she asks for your paperwork and your information, and you give her your little file. And then you just sit down, take your test. If there's any questions, you just raise your hand, ask your questions. And then at the end of taking your test, you go up to the lady, and then she puts your score in an envelope, seals it. You can call your recruiter, whoever, ask them to pick you up, and then you give your recruiter your envelope. They'll tell you what score you got. That's what will happen when you first go up to MEPS to take your ASVAB test. After I did my ASVAB test, I went up to Dallas MEPS to do my physical screening and medical things, and I did that 2 days later, I believe. It was on April 10th. And so you drive up to wherever the location of the hotel is, and let me tell you, my hotel was at the Marriott, and I never been to a Marriott before. It was very nice, very very fancy. You go in, you get on the elevator. There's I think it's level 4, and it's specifically for the military. And you go in, there's a lot of other people. My check-in time was at 3 o'clock, and so I got there around 4 o'clock because I didn't want to be super early. And so you go in, you sign your name on paper, you just wait, and then they show you a video in a group. And you watch the video. It tells you what's going to happen, about your meal tickets, dinner, everything like that. And then from there, they check you in, and then you can just go to your room. And you might not have a roommate. My roommate, she hadn't had roommates prior, and she'd been there 2 times before, and so it was her first time having a roommate. And we just talked, and then they had dinner around 5 o'clock. We went down to dinner. It was a buffet style. You just give them your meal ticket. There's water, juice, tea, vegetables, meat, pretty basic. It was pretty good, honestly. And then we went and we worked out for a little bit. We sat by the pool. You need to go to sleep pretty early, because you're gonna have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And me, I went to sleep at 10 o'clock, which I'm not used to going to sleep at 10 o'clock. I'm usually going to sleep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and so I went to sleep at 10 o'clock and then woke up at 12 o'clock, and then I couldn't fall back asleep, so I only got 2 hours of sleep. And I wasn't that tired during the day. I was more tired when I actually took my ASVAB test, because I didn't sleep the night prior, which I wouldn't suggest that. Definitely sleep as much as you can before you're going in for your ASVAB and for the medical screening, because it's going to be a very very long process. And then I just laid in my bed, I took a shower, got ready, and then we went down for breakfast at around 5 o'clock, and then I think the bus leaves at around 5:30. And so we ate really quick. The breakfast was really good. They had a lot of varieties of things like cereal, sausage, etc., eggs, bacon. And then after that, you go and get in line, and you just wait until the bus picks you up. From the Marriott to the Dallas MEPS, it was a 15-20 minute drive. And then the federal building doesn't open until 6 o'clock, and so we got there we got there before 6. And so we were waiting outside, and they have the women get in line first. So I was one of the first like girls to go in. You go in, go through security. So you go into the elevator, you go onto the floor, and then I believe from then you're supposed to go to your liaison and speak to them. I think maybe they have you sign paperwork. Oh, actually they give you a file. And my file was pink. I don't know why it was pink, but mine was pink. And there was like blue, yellow, orange. But I was happy mine was pink because I like pink. See my nails, they're pink. At that point, it's just waiting. And you wait to get all different types of tests done. So what first happened is they did like my blood pressure. They asked you like what hair and eye color you have. And then you got your hearing test. And you're in like a big, huge like box. And there's like little like bar stools. And I was in the room with like 8 people. I think it sits 10, but I think maybe like one of the thing or 2 of them weren't working. And then they have like little curtains, and they'll tell you, like they'll explain to you what they're gonna do, and then like you turn around, you like pull the curtain, you put the headphones on, there's like a little clicker, and you just click to whatever sound you hear. From then I did like a vision test. After your vision test, they send you to a classroom and you wait for it to get full, all the desks to get full. And then there was a man, he spoke to us about sexual harassment, equality, different things like that, what to do, like what not to do, going AWOL. And then a woman came in and we took a paper out of the folder, and it was like a questionnaire, and she was just explaining to us what the questions were, how to answer them, the exact date, how'd you break it, the doctor, this and that. And so for me, I didn't really have to fill out anything. This one guy had laser eye surgery, and it takes a lot more time because of the other people in the room if they've had a lot of things done, because it's a big huge setting. And then immediately after that, a breathalyzer test, and then I had to go pee really bad, so I got to go to the front of the line, and I did my urine analysis. You need to make sure that you are able to pee in front of someone else, because there's going to be a woman watching you. This was for me. You go into the bath, it'll be 3 people, so me and like 2 other girls, and then the woman watching us. And she like explains to you what happens, and there's 2 bathroom stalls. The stalls are open, and you go in and you pee. I think you close the cup, and then you like kick it in front of you, and then you can close the door, finish doing your business, and then you come out, pick the cup up. Doctor right there on the side, and he like she calls him over, and he takes like the urine. And the girl before me, she left and she opened the door, and it like swung open. My papers flew everywhere, and then like he had my pee in his hand, and so my pee got like on the little counter, and it was pretty gross. I mean, it's not gross for me because it's my pee, but it was just a little weird. And I'm sure he had gloves on though, so it was okay. But it was kind of weird, and I think there was like pee on one of my papers. Sorry for the person who had to touch that. And then literally one of my papers like flew under the counter, so we had to like get that. And then like you just make sure that your social security number matches the urine analysis, so that they don't mix you with someone else's pee, are pregnant, or like they've done drugs, and then like you fail but it's not actually your pee. So they just want to make sure that it's actually yours. And then after that, I waited. Within this, like you're waiting probably about like 15 to 20, 30 minutes depending on like the line, the people ahead of you. And so I waited to get my blood taken, and it was really easy and quick. I was pretty nervous because I have tattoos, but it's pretty different getting a tattoo from needles and shots, or even like your blood drawn, because like with a tattoo, like it's like constant, and so it kind of numbs it after a few minutes. But with the needle, I don't know, it's just like more pressure, I guess. It's a little ball to squeeze, and then she just does it. And it actually, for me, it hurt more when she took the needle out than it actually did going in. And then after that, I did a doctor's interview, and so you just go into the doctor. She asks you a whole bunch of questions to make sure, you know, that all of your medical information is like right. And then after that, we had a doctor thing. I think it was like 11 girls. We all go in, and your recruiter would tell you you're gonna have to wear like granny panties and a basic bra, because like don't wear a sports bra. However, there were 2 girls in my group wearing a sports bra. I don't know, I guess they didn't really pay attention, but don't wear like a bralette. I wouldn't wear a sports bra, just to be safe. Wear granny panties, no lace, no thong, nothing fancy like that. They're gonna give you hospital gowns, and you're gonna take your underwear and bra off, and then you go into like a separate room with the doctor, and she's just gonna like touch things to make sure that you don't have like any cancer or anything. They'll touch your stomach, like your breast, and then they're gonna check down there. It's very quick, like they're just like bloop, they just take a little peek. like very quick, like less than 3 minutes, this whole thing, like maybe even 2 minutes. You wait for everyone to finish that, and then they kind of do like these little physical exercises. And if I were you, I would practice a duck walk, and in the duck walk just go like heel, toe, and like turn, and like heel, toe, turn, and you're going kind of like at a diagonal movement. And then what I got messed up was they make you turn, and so you're supposed to stay still on one foot and pivot around, and I was so confused on what the doctor was saying. And she literally had heels on, and she came up and she did it in heels like perfectly, and I was like, wow. She made me feel really bad because I had no idea what I was doing and she could do it in heels. And then they just do a few things like squats, walking, maybe jumping jacks, like a few things like this, like pretty basic simple things. And then after that was over, you give like the paperwork to these people at a desk just to make sure everything is done, and then you go to your liaison, and then I think they let you have lunch after that. My liaison told me to be back in like, what was it, like 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes went by like 5 minutes. I was like, what the heck? Like by the time I sat down and ate, I had like 5 minutes. And I spoke to people in the office, and they told me, they'll tell you like what jobs you have available. For me, they didn't have any jobs, and there was like 3 jobs. I wanted to leave in summer. I did not want to go up to the Great Lakes in winter or fall because I know it's going to be freezing and I do not like the cold. And so I was like, I just want to leave like after May. And so my ship out day was June 3rd, but I picked the job air crew. And let me tell you one thing, they're in there and they are trying to sell you this job like no other. I had no idea what this job was, and there was a few other guys like in the liaison office. You go in there, and then there's like a little separate office you can go into, and the people that were in that office, like they were trying to sell me that job like it was crazy. And I ended up picking it anyways because I want to do Navy diver, and so I have to secure a job. But like in my mind, I'm set on getting Navy diver, so it doesn't really matter what job like I have to secure, because to be like I think it's any special like warfare operations, you have to be able to meet certain qualifications. And so I was like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be a diver anyways. And then after that, I signed my contract, and I was originally going in for 4 years, and I'm actually going to do 6 years, because that's also what Navy diver and air crew, the like time is for them. Then to another area of MEPS, and you sit down and they ask you like, where do you want your money to go to in case of like death or anything like that, life insurance. And so I split mine half and half with my mom and my dad. And then I waited a few minutes, and then we got our fingerprints done. And then you take your paperwork back to the liaison, and then they just check through everything, make sure it's all right. You sign your name so many times that day, it's crazy. So after you turn your paperwork into your liaison, you're just waiting the USO to swear in. That's what I did that day. I swore in. It might be different for you. You will swear in. You go into like a little room. They tell you like what's gonna happen. And then you go in, you're at ease, and then they'll like tell you to go into attention, and you put your hand up, you swear in. Your family can be in there taking pictures and videos of you. And then after that, they print out some paperwork. You take like a little picture. I was like the only person to smile in my picture, but like who's not happy? Why wouldn't you want to smile? I don't know, but I was like, And then the guy shook my hand. He was like, you were part of the U.S. Navy. I think I took the paperwork back to the liaison, and then it was done. I signed my name for a t-shirt, called my recruiter, and that was that. That was my personal experience on what happened with the times that I went to MEPS. Just remember, keep in mind that this is my personal experience. This is in Dallas MEPS, so it might be different for you, your location. Also, one of the reasons that I wanted to put this content out there was because I didn't really know what to expect when I went there, and so I just want to give my viewers an idea of what might happen, what might not happen, how you can kind of prepare for this. So I hope this will give you some insight and can help you, and thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can like and subscribe. I will have more military content. I'm still new to the process, so I will be just going as I go along, like after boot camp, once I go to my training. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, good day, good evening. Goodbye.